All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome. Another little late night live. I normally don't go live at night, but last couple nights you guys have got me on live, and tonight's gonna be more of like a Q&A, kind of like a talk session, because you guys didn't see my post. Poshmark has a new fee structure, and I felt like going live, talking to the community about it, seeing how you guys feel about it, would be a good idea. So that way you guys can, vent. Let me know how angry you are, how happy you are with the new fee structure, all that good stuff. So I am going to show the fee structure here in a minute. We'll wait for some people to hop on in. What's up, Trisha? Wait for some people to hop on in, and then I'll kind of explain how the fee structure works on live. I did put out a video today so you guys can see exactly how it's set up, but I feel like those videos are so short that you can't really, get out all that you want to say because you got to make it short and sweet so people watch the entire video. I'm thinking about making a full YouTube video on this too, like from front to back, so we can talk about, like I can talk about it and people can talk about it in the comments, and like give a few examples on how sales will look like fee-wise now and with the new system, with the 20% system and the new system. Because at the end of the day, the new system, all it is a money grab from Poshmark. If you actually do the math, Poshmark is going to make more on every single transaction. It's causing a barrier of entry for the buyer to make an offer or buy your item because now they're getting charged an extra fee. And at the end of the day, the only person that wins is Poshmark. Why they made this change right now, right before the Christmas season, I have no clue. They should have done this in the middle of summer and like tested it out and see if sales dipped or went up. But yeah, it doesn't make much sense. So, yeah, I'm not answering that. What's up, Elliot? What's up, Tam? What's up, Juliet? What's up, Carrie? Welcome in. Posh about to pay me for some Titans tickets. Let's go. Hey, I'll take some Titans tickets. Let's go. I want some Titans tickets. But yeah, I'm gonna flip the screen right now. If you're watching over on Facebook or you're watching over on Instagram, it's gonna be a little harder for you to see because I can only flip my camera and kind of show you guys the screen. But over on, if you guys want to hop over to Facebook or YouTube, you guys can see the entire screen over there. So let me get this set up for them. There we go. And let me flip this over. And let's talk about Posh Pass, which if you like it after you use shipping discount, have to pay for it. Yeah, Posh Pass is crazy too. I didn't even get into that. I didn't even get into the discount and shipping as well. Like there's so much that goes into this. But here is basically what the new fee structure is going to look like. If you want to follow along, you go to support.poshmark.com. The very first two links at the top goes over the whole entire fee structure. But basically how it works is instead of paying 20%, you are now paying 5.99% on the total cost of your item, the shipping cost, and the taxes. And then of course if you ship it across the border to Canada or Canada over here, you're also going to pay those governmental charges or whatever. I don't have any of those issues. I don't ship to Canada, so I don't really pay those extra fees. But you're paying, as before, you were paying 20% on just the sales price. Now you're paying 5.99% on the order total, shipping cost, and taxes all in one. So even though it looks like a smaller fee, it actually is an increased fee. On top of that, you have a variable cost that you pay. So you pay $1 for anything under $15. So on top of that 5.99%, you're going to get charged $1 fee for anything under $15. For anything between $15 to $49.99, you're going to get charged $2. So again, 5.99% on the total cost plus $2. And then if you sell anything higher than $50, you're going to get charged $3 plus that 5.99% fee. So all in all, when you read those changes, they look to be good. And when I first saw these changes, I was like, hey, this is actually good. They're charging us less. Cool. That's awesome. Like that's exactly what they should be doing because their fees are already the most expensive out of every platform. But the kicker is they charge those same exact fees to the buyer as well. So if you work the math out between both of those, you as a seller are getting charged right around a 15% fee if you sell anything or $75 or less. 15% fee. They are also charging that 15% fee to the buyer as well as a buyer protection, but the buyer protection is not offering the buyers any protections that they already didn't have. Unless they're planning on like announcing this tomorrow, like they're allowing buyers to return for any issue, they're not giving any extra incentives to the buyers for a buyer protection. They're just literally giving them a 15% fee and saying, hey, you have to pay 15% extra. So yeah, Posh about to pay me hard right over that. What's up, Jalicious? We can't ship to Canada on Poshmark. Can you not? I've never even tried, so I haven't looked into it. So yes, at the end of the day, Poshmark is the only one winning because Poshmark is now making 15% on both ends of the transaction instead of making 20% on only one end of the transaction. If you do the math on both sides, they're making more. So let's go ahead and show the buyer protection fee. This is what they say the buyer protection fee is right here. So as a buyer protection fee, they are also going to pay that 5.99%, and they get that fixed cost. So depending on whatever tier the item is sold, 50 or more, you get $3. 15 to 49.99 is $2, or under 15 is $1. This is what is included. Tell me, you guys, let me know in the comments what the buyer is getting as an extra protection that they already didn't have when I read this, when they used to have the 20% fee where they didn't have to pay anything. The buyer protection fee enables Poshmark to continue providing or to continue to provide and invest in Posh Protect, Posh Authenticate, and 24/7 Poshmark customer support on every order and ongoing product improvements. This fee is common across many online marketplaces, which it's not, to ensure buyer safety and continued improvements across your shopping experience. What exactly does the buyer get for paying 15% more than they didn't get as of today and before? What are they getting? Why are they paying an extra 15% for every order? What are they getting? Somebody tell me what is this that is so good that you're like, oh, now on Poshmark I feel much safer buying all my products on Poshmark as opposed to buying on eBay, as opposed to buying on Mercari, as opposed to buying on whatnot, because I have to pay 15% more. So because I pay more, I feel more protected. How does that make sense? Like, what is this logic? So you should be accepting offers tonight. Yes, if you accept offers before the end of the day today, they will have the old fee structure. This new fee structure, they literally just announced this today and it goes in effect tomorrow. There was no like asking sellers if this is what they want. They basically just said, here you go. Kind of like what Mercari did. Mercari did the same exact thing. And Mercari kind of took back a couple of their changes and like left it alone. They let it simmer for a little bit. But here's the clear difference. Here's the difference between Mercari and Poshmark's changes. Mercari just literally took the same fee structure and moved it to the buyer. That's it. They didn't switch around their whole entire fee structure, and they didn't do it to where when they moved the fee structure, they made more money in the long run. That's not what Mercari did. Poshmark literally changed it, and they make more money on every single transaction until you get to like, mathematically you got to figure out where it is mathematically, but once you get over like a certain threshold, like 150, 200, $250, I don't know what that threshold is, that's where they start making less than what they did before, I believe, if my math is correct. But everything before that, they actually make more money on every single sale. And they're not offering anything else. They are offering one thing, I should say. I'll correct myself. They are giving Posh ambassadors the ability to offer $5.95 shipping on their items with no extra charge to them. So you give your buyers a discounted shipping rate. But even with that discounted shipping rate, if you do the math, they are still making more money on their end, and the buyers are still paying more for their items. $5.95 is like $2 less, and on a $25 item, the buyer is paying around $4.20 more per item. So they're still paying more on their end just because they're giving discounted shipping. So I like to buy unlisted. Me too. Is this worse than what eBay already does? Poshmark fees are right around 15% on most lower dollar transactions, and they're not making not only the seller pay that 15%, but the buyer pay that 15%. eBay's fees are right around 15%, but they only go to the seller. They don't get split between the buyer and the seller. So eBay fees are still way better than Poshmark, and you have you have more people to sell to on eBay. There's more users on eBay. So if anything, eBay should be charging more, not Poshmark. Makes no sense. Yeah, not everybody sells. Most people who sell on Poshmark, I would assume if you ran the data, most people on Poshmark are probably selling bread and butter brands. They're not selling $300, $400, $500 items. I probably every year sell probably 10 to 20 $100 plus items on Poshmark, and I sell a lot of stuff. So unless you're only selling luxury goods and that's all you're buying, your average sales price wouldn't be that $200, $300, $400. So eBay moving this will ultimately absorb more Posh buyers now. Yes, people were mad about the Mercari changes when Mercari first happened, and I heard about it. I wasn't mad about it. I was like, you know what, this makes sense. Okay, they're just moving the off to the buyer. What's going to happen is buyers are just going to offer less, but us as sellers know exactly how much profit we're going to make on each item because there's no fees for us. So if I paid $5 for an item, I have it listed for 35 on eBay, and someone offers me 25 on Mercari, I usually take it because I know for a fact I'm making a $20 profit. Whereas this fee structure, you got to figure out, hopefully they have it outlined at the bottom when you're accepting an offer how much you're making, but it really makes no sense. Like you're having to do math in your head to try to figure out if it's a better offer or not. It makes no sense. So I think sales will go south. I believe so. Like when Mercari's changes first happened, I assumed that sales would start to slow down a little bit or offers would get much less. On this structure, I believe sales have to go down. Like buyers are paying more. On top of the fact that most of us in this chat probably sell pre-owned clothing, and most pre-owned clothing is under £1. On Mercari, for shipping items under £1, it's less than $6. Or it's right around $6 is the cost. For Poshmark, no matter what the item is, the buyer is, unless you're a Poshmark ambassador, is paying $7.97. So shipping is already more expensive on Poshmark than it was on Mercari. And now buyers are paying more fees and sellers are still paying fees. So on topic, what's best cross listing tool need to diversify here? Auto Posher. So those of you who just sell on Poshmark and you're like, crap, I need to move my stuff to another platform. Good question. I use Auto Posher to cross list, and she just introduced the 15% off affiliate code. So I have a code linked in my bio, or use code KWayShop at checkout. There's also a free trial as well too. So you can use that, start moving some of your Poshmark listings over. If you've ever wanted to, this is a good time to start doing that. So good question on that. How much do you spend on promoted closet a month? I promote 0 on Poshmark because Poshmark is pay per click. It's not a typical promoted listing like eBay. If somebody clicks on your listing, even if they don't buy it, you're paying for that. So that's why I don't do anything pay per click. The only time you should do pay per click is if you're selling something on like Amazon, like a high like saturated product that has a lot of turnover, and you want to be at the top, and as soon as somebody clicks on that item, they're most likely going to buy it. That's why you want to do pay per click. So I get more sales on Mercari, but at eBay sales went down, Posh fees to the moon. Yeah, I get more sales on eBay over Poshmark and Mercari. I'll give you my quick numbers really quick. So this change doesn't really affect me too much. It's obviously going to lower my Poshmark sales, but overall it's not really going to be that big of an issue because I'm not a Poshmark seller by any means. I sell a decent amount on Poshmark. This year on eBay, we've done 2,112 sales on eBay. We've done 784 on Poshmark. Do I think I'm going to lose all 784 of those sales just because of the new changes? No. But I think it's going to dip the sales down, and maybe those buyers move over to a place like Mercari, and it brings up my Mercari sales. I'm trying to get to everybody. We have lots of questions in the chat. Feel free to talk amongst each other too. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I did do the beginning of live. I kind of described how this whole thing is working out, the fee structure and everything. I'll pop that back up on the screen really quick so those of you just hanging out can read along with what the fees look like. This is the... Did I do it? Oh, my computer froze. No, don't freeze. Hopefully you guys can still see me. My computer's freezing. Well, you guys are good over here. My computer's completely frozen right now. Can someone tell me if my Facebook is running right now? I froze. No, don't freeze. This is important. No, don't freeze. What's up, sweet dreams? Welcome in. Do you not use Depop? I do use Depop. Okay, we're good. Sorry, guys. I popped out for a second. I don't know if you guys could see me. But yeah, I'll leave this on the screen so you guys can kind of read along about how the fees work. You can hear me? Okay, we're back. We should be good. That was weird. I've never had that happen before. But yeah, these are how the new fee structure works, so feel free to read along. Exactly what you see for the seller on the screen is what you see for the buyers as well. So the buyers are going to pay the exact same fee. I'm glad I upgraded a cross lister on AutoPosher and started moving listings to Mercari. Yes, move listings to Mercari. I do sell on Depop as well. Depop, I just don't get as many sales. I do If people would pay for their stuff, I would get just as many sales on Depop, but people don't like to pay for their stuff on Depop. So, will Autoposh should be able to send offers with discounted shipping or no? Because of the Posh Pass, I have no clue. That's something that she's probably looking into right now. I always say she because Autoposher's female. She's the one who runs the platform, Niha. I'm sure she's thinking of ways to work around the system right now. She got to change her system because of this new Posh Pass thing. So yeah. Is there another reason not to place all your eggs in one basket? Crossless people, 100%. There's a lot of people out there that stress to only sell on eBay, only sell on Poshmark. The issue with that is when a platform changes like this, you have to, you have to diversify and you have to adapt. If Poshmark sales dip, then obviously because we're listed on multiple platforms, we shouldn't be affected as much as somebody who is just selling on one platform. So that's why cross listing is definitely key. Can you explain the pass? The pass, from what I understand, let me see if I can find something on the Posh Pass. They might not have it available to. What is Posh Pass? There we go. Boom. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. Hopefully this doesn't freeze again. What is Posh Pass? Designed and dedicated. Oh yeah, it froze again. I don't know why it's doing this every time I change the screen. But give me a second. Wait till this comes back over there, and then we'll talk about Posh Pass. Oil up. How much is Autoposher? Go check out my live from yesterday. It's on Facebook and YouTube. You can go watch it. Autoposher. If you just go to autoposher.com and you go to plans, they'll show you all the different plans for Autoposher. It goes anywhere from $35 all the way to $90. It depends on if you want automation or not. So yeah. Ignore my nonsense. No, I missed your stuff, Trisha. I gotta scroll back up. Just say it again. Just say it again. Makes my life easy. All right, here's Posh Pass. So basically how Posh Pass works, from what I understand, is it gives Posh ambassadors. Let me flip the screen over here for you guys. I don't know if you guys can read it. Hop over to Facebook or YouTube and you'll be able to see the full screen. Basically, what it does, Posh Pass offering at no cost at all the U.S. Poshmark ambassadors until December 31st, 2024. During this time, program will be 100% covered by Poshmark, meaning Poshmark will absorb the differences in shipping costs, ensuring that neither sellers nor buyers bear the additional costs. So, from what I understand, this is what you get with Posh Pass right here. Buyers purchasing from Posh Pass sellers automatically receive discounted shipping at $5.95 on their order. So Posh Pass is a way for you to pass on a discounted shipping to your buyer, which is a cool incentive. And I think it could have been really cool if they wouldn't have raised fees for the buyers. They're saving $2. Like, what people don't understand is your skincare routine. I got you. They're saving $2 on a $25 order, but they're paying $4 in fees or more depending on their taxes in their area. So, yeah, sure, they're saving $2, but in the end they're paying $4. So they're paying $2 more for a $25 item. You as a seller are paying less. Poshmark is still making about the same amount of money, if not a little bit more than what they used to, with just a 20% flat fee. How does that make any sense? They should have reworked the system as, buyers pay a flat 20 or 10% fee, sellers pay a flat 20 or 10% fee, and then they also gave this extra incentive to sellers. And that way everybody knows what their fees are. It's not 20% anymore. They just charge the buyer this protection fee, charges the seller this fee, and then gave this discount to the people who have proven themselves on Poshmark. And now the sellers are getting that $2 fee, and then at that point it's pretty much a break even still for the seller or for the buyers. They're being charged on a $25 item $2.50, and they're saving right around $2 on their purchase cost. So it's almost a break even. It's not that big of a hit. Whereas this is 15% they're getting charged, and they're saving that $2 fee, and then we're getting charged 15%, which is like basically the same. And the way I get 15% is pretty much anything under $100, it works out to about 15%. On lower dollar items, it actually works out to a little bit higher than 15%. As you get higher, closer to 100, it's 15% or a little bit lower if you do the math on that. I wish she would add whatnot. She also, really quick, Autoposher put out a post today. She wants you guys to vote on the next platform. So if you want whatnot to be added, she has that on there. She has Facebook, whatnot, Shopify, Grailed, Kitizen, I think, and something else. So you get to vote on your top 3 choices. So go ahead and vote. It's on her page. It's in her link tree. Vote for your next platform that you want to see. August was awful on Poshmark. I was going to shut it down, and then September was the best month I've ever had on Poshmark. Hopefully these changes don't affect your sales too much. September for me on Poshmark, I actually dipped in sales. I went from 134 in August to 101, and I didn't really do anything differently. So maybe I listed a little bit less, but not that much different. Same on Mercari. I had a slow month last month. September is typically a slow month. eBay actually had more sales in September than I had in August. So that's why you cross list. One platform does better than the other one. It's no rhyme or reason. They're all working with the same kind of buyer. So yeah, Facebook Marketplace. I think that's the one that's leading right now is Facebook. I'd like to see Facebook and Whatnot. If she can have those two, the rest I don't really need. Facebook and Whatnot would be perfect. So, what do you think Whatnot would be better? Well, actually, fun fact: you can import all of your Poshmark listings into Whatnot right now. You don't need a cross-lister to do it. There's a way to import. If you just search on YouTube, just search how to import. Why is it doing this thumbs up thing? If you search how to import your listings from Poshmark to Whatnot on YouTube, it'll pop up someone's video and it'll show you how to do that. So you don't really need a cross-lister to do that. But I think Autoposher would be much more efficient to get your items over rather than doing that import thing. Because when you do the import thing, you got to change the shipping and everything. It's kind of a pain in the neck. So just joining Poshmark is about 15% rather than 20% for sellers. It works out like this. I'll show the screen one more time. It's going to be a quick little update live, so I can like talk you guys through this, talk some of you off some cliffs. So, gotta hold on. I know you guys can hear me over there. It's frozen. I don't know why it keeps doing this, but just stay over there for a second. As soon as we come back, we'll go over the changes. I'll go over the changes with you guys on Instagram too. Again, if you're watching on Instagram, Facebook and YouTube are the better of the two between Instagram and those, because you're able to see the whole screen over there, and over here I can just flip the camera. You can kind of read it from where you are, but it's pretty hard to read. All right, cool. You guys are back. I don't know why it keeps doing that today. It's kind of weird. This is the new fee structure right here. So basically I say it's 15% because it's about what it works out to, as opposed to the 20%. So I'll go over it one more time. We'll take a couple more questions and I'm going to head off because I have a Call of Duty date with the boys. Now, instead of 20%, you're going to get charged a 5.99% on the order total, shipping costs, and taxes. Key to this is this part right here, and also the governmental changes, but we're going to skip over that part. Instead of getting paid, like before, you were charged 20% on the sale price. So if it's sold for $50, you were charged 20% on $50. You were not charged 20% on $50 plus the amount that the buyer paid for shipping plus the taxes. You weren't charged on that. But now they've made that 5.99% fee similar to eBay, where you're getting charged on the complete order total, including the shipping costs and taxes. eBay does the same thing. And then also on top of that, you're getting charged a tiered fee. So you either get charged $1, $2, or $3. $1 is for items under 15, $2 is for sales between 15 and $49.99, and then $3 is based off a $50 or more sale. So that's how the new system works. If you do the math, because you're adding in these extra fees down here, this works out to be about 15% on lower dollar sales. If you go into high dollar sales, it becomes less depending on how high of a dollar sale you go. But for lower dollar sales, it ends up being 15%. And then you're also having that fee charged to your buyer as well. That exact same fee gets charged on both ends. So instead of 20% to one person, they're now splitting it and charging 15% to two people, which means Poshmark is making 30% rather than 20%. And they're giving the buyers a buyer protection is what they're claiming it is, but the buyer protection is nothing different than what they currently have. It doesn't say anything different. It's not like buyers will be able to return an item at full cost and don't have to return it or anything like that. Like there's no other protections. It's very silly to say that they're giving a buyer a protection that isn't actually a protection at all, right? From eBay, Mercari, you can import listings from eBay to Mercari, yes, but the eBay, the Mercari cross lister is very, very clunky. I know Johnny did a lot of videos on that, but if you watched his video on how long it took to import your listing, it's almost quicker to do it by hand than to do it from Mercari. You have to like go and get the link, I believe, and then go into Mercari, and then you have to change some things within the listing. It's much easier to just use a cross lister and do it all by hand if you're going to do it that way. I used to cross list everything by hand back in the day, and then I signed up with List Perfectly, and then Autoposher came out with their cross lister and blows List Perfectly out of the water, so that's why I changed it up. But yeah. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If not, I am going to head off. I figured this would be a nice little live to hop on and kind of discuss with you guys and see you guys' opinions on it, because I think a lot of people, when they saw that original email, they were like, oh cool, this is lower fees. But when you actually, if you read both ends, it's not lower fees, it's higher fees for both parties, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Saturdays are for the boys, as per usual. No, I'm not ignoring her. I just know what she's saying, okay? I know that what she's saying is not pertaining to what I'm talking about, because that's what Trisha does. But yeah, so yeah, fun little news today. I got dropped. Actually, the way I found out about this is my sister called me, and she's like, did you get the email? And I haven't even got the email yet, by the way. They haven't even sent this email to like every user on Poshmark, which is crazy. She's like, did you see this change? And at first she was like, oh, this is really good. And then I had to call her back and say, there's fees for buyers as well. It's not just for sellers. So, do you get a lot of returns when you sell on eBay? No. I think right now I have let me see how many active returns I have. One just came in today, so it'll be an inactive return. I only have 2 open returns on eBay right now. Every month I think I get between 10 and 15. It just depends on how heavy the month is. Typically when I run a sale on eBay, that's when I actually get more returns, because that's when the cheap buyers come out and they buy the stuff really cheap, and then they want to return it all the time. I ran that big sale like a couple weeks ago, and then right after I got like 6 returns. I was like, gosh, you guys already got a discount. Now you want returns. So you buy a luxury item for $1,000. What would the buyer's fee be? This is a good question. I need like a pen and paper. Here we go. What would the buyer fee be on a $1,000 transaction? So $1,000. You gotta think it's $1,000 plus the buyer, let's say, is paying a 7% sales tax fee, right? So it's $1,070, and then they're also paying the shipping cost. Let's say they use the discounted shipping rate. So let's say it's $6, just to round it off and make it a whole number. So you get $1,076. Now the buyers are going to get charged a $3 fee on that, because they're over that $50 range, and this is why when you sell higher, it's better. And they're going to get charged 6% on that. So it'd be times 0.06. It's 5.99, but I'm just going to round it up to 6 to make it easier. So they're going to get charged $64.56. So all in all, $67.56 is what the buyer and the seller is going to get charged. So for that transaction, 67.56 times 2 is $135 fees for both buyer and seller. It's split between the two. So if you add them both together, it's $135.12. That is a lot cheaper than what it used to be, because Poshmark used to charge 20%, which would have been $200 on that transaction just to the seller. So now they're splitting the fees between both buyer and seller, and both buyer and seller are paying less. So like I said, as you have higher dollar sales, you're actually going to make more money. Where it doesn't make sense is lower dollar sales. Anything below, like, I think there's got to be a threshold. I got to do the math to figure it out, but the threshold is probably like somewhere between $150 to $250, where that's where it starts, leveling out and becoming better for both parties. But before that, it's actually worse for both parties. Poshmark is making more money, and Poshmark's already done that math and said, you know what, most of our sales come from lower dollar items. So how do we make more money on those lower dollar items and force people to sell higher dollar items? We want to incentivize them to sell higher dollar items instead of lower dollar items, right? So, yeah, crazy. I just got Autoposher for the automation only. Think of cross-listing on Poshmark and Mercari as well. Do you tend to see good sales on Poshmark and Mercari to upgrade the plan? For me, I do. I have a decent amount listed. I don't know how much you have listed, Courtney, but I'll give you my sales for the month. You said you're just on eBay. Yeah, you're just on eBay, I think, because you're going to cross-list to Poshmark or Mercari. Last month I did 101 sales on Poshmark and I did 33 on Mercari. So Autoposher, if I just was selling on eBay, Autoposher would have paid for itself over and over and over again if I was cross listing. If I wasn't cross listing, and now I was. So what I would suggest to do, Courtney, is use it for a month. Use that 15% fee or 15% discount, which you already with the automation, so you already have used that. Oh, you can't get the 15% because you've already signed up. I would use it for a month and see if your sales increase. If your sales don't increase, then you can always drop off and go back to the automation tool. But trust me, I believe your sales are going to increase enough to make that make sense. Most people's do. So you can always go back down, but give it a shot and see how it works. Autoposture, it's a set monthly fee. It's not going to vary. It's a set monthly fee. About 600 listings right now. Yeah, so you'll definitely see a benefit from cross listing, 100%. I just got the email today. I didn't get the email for some reason. Kat told me about it, and then I went to the blog post for Poshmark, and that's how I figured out that this was legit. Because at first I didn't think it was legit. One of her friends at the bins told her about it, and I was like, "Are you sure that this is not just like a phishing email that they got? Like, why would they just do this and like have this done tomorrow?" Like how does that make any sense? Like to do this and have it done tomorrow? But I guess that's what they want to do, just surprise everybody just randomly. So that's why I figured I'd come on really quick, hop on, talk to you guys a little bit about it, and discuss what's going on. Shout out to Chris at Peak. Trisha mentioned that. Trisha and I talked to Chris at Peak today. His videos are doing very, very well. They're getting a lot of support. He's reaching out to people that he's worked with in the past too, getting a lot of support coming his way. So yeah, keep showing him support. Keep sharing that video. If you haven't gone and liked the video, it starts tomorrow, by the way. The Poshmark thing starts tomorrow. If you haven't liked that video, if you haven't shared it to your feed, it costs you $0 to literally go to that post and just share it. It's $0, and that will help that video get pushed out to many people. He's already given some money out, he said, and he's already filmed that content. He's literally already started giving money that's been donated out the day after he posted that video. So yeah, we got some special stuff planned to help boost his earnings, let's just say. So you guys will see that very, very shortly. But yeah, shout out to Chris. He's going through something tough. If you guys could just go to share his video, if you could donate, I'm not saying go donate to him, but if you could, it will definitely help him out with what's going on. So all right, everybody, I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm gonna head off. Rewatch the whole video if you didn't see the whole video. Watch it from the beginning. It goes over everything that's going on with Poshmark, all the updates and everything like that. So feel free to rewatch it. If you're watching on Instagram, you got to hop over to Facebook or YouTube. This gets posted right afterwards. And yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out. And we'll catch you tomorrow morning, live thrifting, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, real quick, the Whatnot show. I should have it loaded up by tomorrow afternoon for the Friday show, and then already start working on the Saturday show. There's some crazy pieces in there, all starting at $1. So go bookmark both shows. You don't want to miss those. And then yeah, if you guys are interested and you're thinking about, hey, I want to move my listings from Poshmark to eBay to Mercari because of all this changes. I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm only on Poshmark. Autoposher just recently announced that they're doing a 15% off discount to new users. So if you sign up with code KWayShop, you get 15% off your first month. And there's also a free trial too, so feel free to use the free trial, test it out, see how you like it. But yeah, this will be a good time to start, thinking about cross-listing if you're only on one platform, because this kind of fee craziness can happen on any platform at any time. And if you're only on one platform, you kind of have your hands tied. You can't do anything. But if you have Autoposher, you can move your stuff to another platform and still see consistent sales. So yeah, 15% off. Use code KWayShop, or I have links in all my bios. So